Hi everyone, my name's Alina and I wanted to talk about some tips and just like things I wish I had told myself when I first started university 2 years ago. I'm just coming off of finishing my second year. I do live in Canada, so we finish in April, and since I'm gonna go into third year soon and I'm already halfway done my degree, I thought I would make this video for myself, for anyone else who's out there, anyone who agrees, anyone who can learn. So here we go. A little bit about me. I just finished, like I said, my second year. I'm at McMaster University in Canada, and I'm in the biochemistry program. Going into my third year, I'm gonna be in the research specialization of that program. And when I was in first year, I started out in the life sciences program. Now, that life sciences program is a general first year sciences program that it's maybe one of the biggest first year programs at McMaster. And from there, I specialize into biochem. The way that it works, which even I didn't really understand when I first started out, yeah, you do your general first year, and then based on the courses that you take and how you do in those classes, you can go into several different specializations. So that could be biochem like me, or chemical biology, biology core, just chemistry, even into like math and physics, whatever you like. Honestly, I think McMaster is amazing that it's so flexible like that. So yeah, getting into it, what I think I would want to know if I was just starting out university, or just honestly, I feel like I'm gonna watch this back as sort of a visual diary of sorts, or no, digital diary, that's what it's called, just to see what I wanted to tell myself. And at the end of hopefully my third and fourth year, I feel like I have accomplished these things. So I just want to say one more thing. I've had this video in my planner for a while now. It was originally supposed to be what my first year of university taught me, so I have procrastinated but just a year, nothing too big. And it was originally going to be more like practical tips, like, oh, the people you hang out with matter, here's how to study, here's how to do this. And then when I was just kind of revising what I'd written back then, I I added more things that were like less pragmatic and more so sentimental, if you will. And I do think that kind of goes to show my personal growth from then till now, that back then all I was thinking about was studying and school and how to get ahead and my GPA and da da da. And now I'm more laid back, more chill, so to say. So sorry if this is a little bit over the place, all over the place. I tried to like switch between something that was like more soft type of advice and then more practical advice, so I'm trying to switch there. But yeah, please bear with me. This is literally my second or third video on this channel. I'm filming in my basement right now because it's too hot outside. Next video might be in the backyard. I'm ordering a mic as we speak from Amazon, so bear with me. Getting into it, the first thing I have written here is literally just to live a little. And I know that sounds so cliche. I feel like everyone will say that, like, oh, you only live once, things like that. But like, truly, to any future, present, or past students, nothing is ever that deep. You know, go to that club event, go out with your friends that one time, go get the coffee, just embrace the little things in life, be a little whimsical, because even though I did all of that, especially in second year, I did all of that more, I still feel like the majority of my time was spent studying, and I really don't want my university years to reflect that, and be the only thing I remember is me studying for organic chemistry. So definitely, yeah, imagine that you graduate and all you remember is spending your time alone and studying all the time. Like, that's not how I want to remember these 4 apparently best years of my life, and I'm sure that nobody else wants to as well. And of course, while studying is important, and I definitely did do a lot of that, I think that life is all about balance, and if you're only ever studying, then you're not going to experience everything else that there is to life, and you're not even going to be able to appreciate the fact that you have the privilege to study in such a well accredited school and country, you know? So the next thing I would say is to stay on top of your schedule. That is the biggest thing. Personally, in my experience, I haven't found that professors just don't tell you deadlines for things, but I do like, this is like my ritual at the start of every semester. As soon as all of my course outlines come out, I'll go through them systematically and enter everything that I have, all my assignments, tests that are like the dates that are given, into my Notion calendar. So this is like my assignment tracker that I'll check off as a to-do list of sorts. I will schedule the class timings and locations into my Google Calendar, and I'll also make an Excel sheet of the breakdowns for each grade. Maybe I'll insert like an example of each of those. I'll put the Google Calendar here, the Notion calendar here, and then my Excel sheet here. And oh, I also use a physical agenda, like for more smaller to-do tasks. So like if I have like an assignment, let's say it's 5 questions, and then I want to do question 1 on Monday. So on the Monday, I'll finish question 1 for this assignment. I'll put a picture of that too, right here. But yeah, I call it my holy trinity, those 3, the Google Calendar, the Notion, and the physical agenda, to stay on top of assignments, to time block everything, to be able to cross things off my list as I do them to get that little dopamine hit. And I do the Excel sheet so that I can kind of figure out where I'm at with my grades instead of just like guessing. It's because that is important for if I want to go to professional schools or grad schools, things like that, because your GPAs do matter there, especially because I am technically a pre-med, and if I do want to go to med school, I have to stay on top of the GPA, unfortunately. So that helps with that. But yeah, plan your assignments and tests ahead of time. I like to keep in my Notion calendar like the filter of show me what's due in the next month, so that I can go onto my Google Calendar or my Notion calendar and just plan out what I want to do when, and break them down into chunks. If I have a test that's on 3 chapters of the textbook, then let's say I do chapter 3 on Monday for 2 hours, and then chapter 4 on Tuesday, practice test on Wednesday, etc., etc. And I think in first year, I use this app called Minimalist for like a to-do list, or you can do, as I do now, a handwritten agenda to, make subtopics, like I said, for everything that you have. And honestly, I think that my system that I have, it is perfect. I wouldn't touch it at all. The only thing I forgot to mention, I think, is that I have color-coded calendars. The first one is just like my personal calendar. That's for all my classes, anything that I'm doing in my like normal day-to-day life. The other one is my extracurricular calendar. That's where, as the name implies, I put anything that is, or like work calendar. So anything that is not something I do day to day, but it's still like important, let's say. The third is my studying calendar. So that's literally just for studying school things. Wow, I just talked about my calendar for 3 minutes. Moving on. The next thing I want to say here is that your grades will change. They definitely will. When I was in high school, my grades were definitely on the higher end, and university requires more work to get the same results. Even though, especially in first year, the content I was learning was the exact same as what I did in high school. All the intro classes were just reviews of stuff from high school, but the test scheduling and the rigorousness of the program makes it harder to keep up with that and review these things, and they're tested way more in depth than they were in high school. You don't have a teacher testing in unit 1, 2, and then 3 separately. It's like unit 1, 2, 3 all together a month after school started. Like the pacing is just a lot faster than you're used to, which is why I think the calendar thing that I was saying, definitely use that, because it'll save you. Not to toot my own horn or anything. And I definitely learned this the hard way. Even though I knew that it would be tough going into university and I did a lot extra time for everything, I still felt the effects of that. Even this year, I can't lie, organic chemistry again kicked my butt a little bit, but it's okay. We move, we learn. That's why I'm telling you this, so you don't have to go through what I went through, right, guys? I do think this grades changing thing is even more so true in second year, because in first year at least you're just reviewing content, so the only thing you really have to change is your lifestyle to get used to the university stuff. Second year, especially for, I think, science degrees is what I can talk about because that's all I know. While I know that biochemistry at McMaster is supposed to be difficult, it's supposed to be one of the more competitive specializations, I did not expect it to be that much work. Oh my goodness. Let me give you guys a breakdown, okay? The first semester, so the fall semester of this year, I took organic chemistry, a biochemistry, a psychology for my minor. I took a writing class, like a biomedical careers class. That was my bird or elective. And biochemistry lab. That's the other one I took. The lab class was easy, the career class was easy. It was the organic chemistry, the psychology, and the biochemistry that were the biggest, like, oh my gosh. And even though the psychology class was technically an elective, I still did not get the like highest possible grade you could have. Even though it was technically an elective and like it should have been easy, and it was just a review of first year stuff for me. And then the recent semester that just passed, the winter semester, I had pretty much the same schedule. It was the other organic chemistry, the other biology, another psychology, or sorry, the other biochemistry, another psychology, another biochem lab, and then like a stats class. It was second year is the more heavy course-wise stuff. It's more specialized, so it's starting to get more difficult. And a lot of the time in first year, they like to like the profs will kind of intercommunicate to make things a little easier for the students, but by second year you're taking classes across all these different departments and faculties, so it's just up to you to figure it out, thug it out. Because for example, there was a time this semester, literally like 2 months ago, where I had 3 midterms scheduled on the same day. It was March 20th. I remember it because it was that bad. I was supposed to have a psychology midterm at 9:30 a.m., a biochemistry lab midterm at 3:30 p.m., and then a stats midterm at 7 p.m. Like, absolutely insane, right? So I ended up deferring, or like we call it MSAFing, the first one, the psychology one, because I was like, there's absolutely no way I can study for psychology, which is such a heavy, that class, it was sensory processes, so it's basically more neuroscience than psychology. It was so much work. I am sorry, I am yapping. My point is, the grades will change. Be ready for it. It's not the end of the world. You can recover. But yeah, it's just second year especially, the sheer amount of content there is, since you're like getting into your degree now, it's just really hard to keep up with. And I found myself feeling like genuinely dumb for the first time in a long time, and that's the feeling that I've always tried to avoid like the plague my entire life. Like, I would rather feel anything before I felt dumb, or like I was less than. Like, the imposter syndrome was going so badly for me because my friends, bless their soul, they are so intelligent and so smart, and they see me the same way, but I don't see myself that way. And I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to that, and I'm really not saying that to be condescending or anything. That's just, it's how I feel, and I'm sure that a lot of other people in my program feel that way as well, which is why none of us will ever, you'll never catch anyone in my program in the group chat saying, oh my god, I did so bad on this assignment, because all of us there are tryhards, for lack of a better term. And yeah, it sucks, but just know that you're not the only one going through that. If no one else in your life is, just know that I went through that. I went through the feeling dumb, the GPA is dropping, and all these things. And how can you do better? Like, I don't know, just do what works for you. For me, I found out that like time blocking and just really like disciplining myself worked out for me. But yeah, your grades will change. That's what that 5-minute rant was about. Sorry, I don't talk this much usually. My throat's dry. Textbooks, that's the next thing. This is a quick one. Unless you have to get it for the class for some sort of in-class participation thing, you can find them online. I don't know if I'm allowed to like plug where I got mine from, but you can find it online. It's not that hard. Some profs will even tell you how to get it online. A lot of classes you don't even need them. They'll say like, oh, this is a textbook, but you won't even need it. Or some will say that you do need it, and I'll get it, and then I never even use it. So just kind of gauge what's going on at that point. If you, like, for example, my psychology class in first year, we had to do these like in-class participation things for marks, and that was linked to buying the textbook and the online access of it. So in that case, I had to pay for it. But whereas my chemistry class, I didn't pay for my textbook in first year because I just found it online because we didn't need it for anything. So yeah, textbooks, find it online unless there's a reason why you can't do that. Okay, this one's a little less practical. This one is more lifestyle-y. Don't cheap out on the little joys, okay? Leave a little early so you can walk to class instead of running, or so you can see the sunrise. Grab a coffee, try something new, a new coffee order, a new route to class. Like, just do things a little bit differently. Try to slow down your nervous system, because university is very, very fast-paced. The job world afterwards is also very fast-paced, so these little things definitely add up, and it is 100% worth it in my opinion to just take a little time every day to do something for yourself. Because for me personally, I have, not now because I'm at home, but when I was going to school every day, I had a personal goal of doing something different every day, whether that be smiling at a stranger, starting a conversation, going a different route to class, walking somewhere else, or going out somewhere that I don't usually go for lunch. Just something different every day to keep, one, my days interesting, two, get to know campus a little more, feel a little more like I did things, and just remembering to like slow down throughout the day. It goes a long way, I promise. It will definitely make a difference in your stress levels, and the conscious choice to be present is so worth it, and you really can't replace it with anything else. And on that note, I would tell you to pick up a new hobby or two, join. It could be joining a club, a volunteer group, getting some sort of new job or a creative outlet or something similar to that. For me, I did several of those, and sometimes I still feel like I want to do more stuff, which is why I'm now doing my YouTube channel right here. In second year, I joined a health sciences magazine, which is called The Meducator. Go look it up. I joined their video production team to make like short style educational content, and I think that was really fun because I got to try different video mediums that I wouldn't otherwise do, because the only thing I've ever used for like video editing and filming before is my phone and like my computer. Last year I made a video that was stop motion, and that was really cool to do, because otherwise I would probably never have considered ever doing that. I think I love that place, and I'm gonna go back to them next year. I also started volunteering at the local hospital, and at first I did find it really tedious, but now I treat it more as like a therapeutic like exit for me, because then I can just kind of get away from home, from school, from everything, and just sit there and kind of do what I need to do, solve it like a puzzle almost. I do these air quotes a lot. Wow, I just noticed that. I am in the emergency room, and so my job is to kind of like restock all of the rooms and the doctor's stations and their like little caddies and everything. So it's nice for me to have like a little mental checklist, like, okay, I did room 1, 2, 3, and I have to do room 4. I have to clean up room 5. So I enjoy it. And that leads me to the reason why I started this YouTube channel. I actually started it like a year, almost 2 years ago. I think a little bit after I graduated high school was when I first uploaded my first video, and I originally wanted it to be more study and like school focused, and I actually did call it Lina's Study. But as I've gone through these 2 years, I've decided that I want to make more videos about like life than just school, because I already do school full-time, and I want to be kind of a comfort creator type person. Like, we'll see where it takes me, but that's why I changed my name to Life with Lina from Lina's Study. Maybe I'll make Lina's Study like a sub-series, I don't know, but that is the reason why I started this YouTube channel, and I decided that this summer this is gonna be my little passion project, because I wanted to do this for a long time, and I've just literally procrastinated this for 2 years. The last video I made was for a school project, so yeah. And I have so many video ideas. Like, my video content like Notion page, there's like maybe 10 or 15 video ideas that I've written. I just have to film them and like edit them. I haven't done it, and it's been 2 years. So I said, enough is enough. You're gonna do it now. So here we are. Okay, next thing I want to say is that there is always something to do. Even if you think, oh, I only have 30 minutes until my next class or until my next appointment. What can I do? Oh, let me just scroll on my phone. No. Of course, you can do that sometimes, but just look at your calendar and you will always have something to do. Even if it's just 15 minutes of doing a practice, a practice passage, or reading a chapter of your textbook, or taking half of the notes you need to. Like, I promise there's always something to do, and it is more worth it than just doom scrolling 5 times a day. Whenever I have free time, or even if I was just bored, I would go into my calendar and look at what I have to do. If I have an assignment that's not due yet, hasn't even started yet, but if it's posted, I'll go look at it. I'll go start just brainstorming topics. Like, these little bits, they'll add up. And if you're like me, you're the type who's like, oh, I can't work unless I give myself 2-3 dedicated hours for it. But these little like half hours, 1 hours, like, you can do prep stuff. You can start to like get organized so that you don't waste time when you do end up sitting down for 2-3 hours to do an assignment or study or whatever, you know? And of course, I'm not a perfect person, that these times wouldn't always be the most productive. If any of you know me in real life, I am the most brain-rotted 19-year-old out there. But being organized at a time definitely works in your favor. And it just makes the times that you do get to doom scroll even better, because then you can laugh without guilt. Wow! I can't tell if this is not focusing or if it's like just me. I don't know. Anyways, next thing I want to say is that it isn't hard to make friends in university. It's definitely hard to keep them though. I've always considered myself more of an extroverted person. Like, I feel like I can get along with anyone in any type of situation, but there were still many people who I just never got close to, and I like never will. And like, that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And you will find your people, and it'll just be in the most random places. Because my current 2 best friends at university, one of them, we met because we sat down next to each other in our biology lab tutorial in first year. And now I literally text her for everything. Like, I've stayed at her house, she stayed at my house. It's amazing. And then my other best friend is that best friend's like family friend, and they met each other, and then we met each other, and it's just, our trio, bro, no better trio in McMaster than us 3. I promise. That's a joke. Sorry. My point is, you will find your people, and it'll be in the places you could least expect. These last 2 bits I want to say are kind of my conclusion bits, and that these are the things that I definitely feel. I know I'm gonna feel them even more so in the upcoming years when I graduate from undergrad, when I finish whatever I end up doing in the future. It's just gonna pile on more and more, because that's the sad truth of life, you know. Nostalgia just hits like that. But university goes by way too fast. If you asked me what I was doing a year ago, I would wholeheartedly tell you that I was still in high school, and I was still, you know, going to the school down the street, and I was doing this. But like, to me, high school felt so slow. Like, those were maybe the longest 4 years of my life. And I could attribute that to COVID or whatever reason. Maybe it's just because I was younger. I had nothing else to do other than high school, but I don't know. All I would look forward to at the time was graduating high school and going to university and being an adult and doing all these things. But that life, that university, those years that I had been like yearning for have passed me by so quickly. And I still genuinely cannot believe that I'm halfway done my degree. Like, in the 2 years ago I was graduating, 2 years from now I'll be graduating again. That might sound very intuitive and like not a big deal, but just, I don't know. And I'm at the equivalent right now in university as I was when I was in grade 10 in high school. And that's like not the same person at all. I am so different from then, and I want to stay in these years as long as I can, which again takes me back to my point about slowing down and just looking around, you know, taking an inhale of your drink before you drink it, just little things so that you can recenter yourself, remember where you are, what you're doing. And I'm the type to take pictures of everything, everything. Photography is like a little amateur hobby of mine, and I love that I do that because I have my own journal of just years worth of things I can look through. People that I don't talk to anymore, I can still remember them in my Google Drive. Like, I love to look through these things and just remember what happened, because it's so easy to get caught up in life and you'll end up not forgetting, but pushing memories to the back of your head, and you won't really retrieve them unless you actively go looking for them, which, like, when do we really do that, you know? Which I love when I open my phone and the first like photo recap that they give me is something that I did like a year ago or 2 years ago, and it's like someone who I haven't talked to in a long time. It gives me the excuse to go text them and be like, oh my god, how are you? Like, just thought about you, we should go hang out, like things like that, you know? So that's what I do, but there could be different things that you guys want to do to kind of stay present and remember where you are, what you're doing. But I definitely recommend finding something to help you do that. And my last point I want to make is that no matter how difficult content seems to you right now, content or life in general or whatever problem you have, once you overcome it, everything will seem easy in hindsight. Because I can give an example that right now I tutor on the side through like McMaster or like also privately. And looking back at the content that used to keep me awake at night, both in high school and first year, I'm just like, it all looks so easy now. Like, what was I tweaking about back then? But that's just because whatever I've done now is so much more difficult that whatever was difficult back then looks easy. Like, my minimum threshold has increased. And I think it's because of like the stress of grades and understanding everything like clouded my mind back then. Today, tomorrow, it's still gonna be like that with whatever new stuff I'm learning. But yeah, all those things would like be noise in my brain more than the actual work and the content was, and that just makes you like, it just messes with you, because it's kind of like test anxiety, where if you know everything but then you go in to your test and you just get scared or anxious or whatever, it's gonna mess with how you do it, and it's gonna make you think that you don't know what you're doing even though you do. So know that it's all right if easy things seem hard, or if they're easy for other people and it's difficult for you, because life is not a race. Everyone's going at their own timeline, their own pace. The people who are in my program with me right now, we're all gonna do completely different things in life. I already know that. So there's no right or wrong way to learn or to do things. There's no right or wrong grade to earn. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. And this is definitely easier said than done, which is why I'm saying it to myself as well. But trust me when I say that the problem is not you. It's not even the content. It's just the stress of adjusting to a new lifestyle, the stress of what you're gonna do when you graduate, all these other things that will fall into place. I'm a big believer in fate, and I think, but I do still think that you have the ability to change your own fate. And do you really want to be able to say that, oh, I could have done well, but I was just so stressed out that I messed up on this. That might be a little tough, or like tough love, but that's what I tell myself, is that, yeah, like, it's okay to be stressed. You know, nothing good happened without a little bit of stress behind it, but don't let that consume you. It does have health effects later on in life, especially the no sleep bit, like taking so many energy drinks, like, just, you don't need all that. There's one thing I will never give up, and that's my 8 hours of sleep every day. I physically cannot stay up past 12 a.m. studying. If I have a little bit of caffeine, I'm bouncing off the walls. Ask anyone I know. I will take like a Nest tea or like an iced tea, and I will be like hyper. Like, I don't know how people have like 2 monsters a day. Like, it actually does not make any sense to me. Sorry, I keep going off on tangents. I like hearing myself talk, apparently. But as I was saying, don't worry about it, guys. I promise, don't worry. It's never that deep. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned a little something. I hope I learned a little something. I hope I remind myself of little things like this in life. And yeah, leave any comments, suggestions, questions, whatever down below, and recommend this channel to your friends and family, guys. I'm just starting out, and I would love to further this more. Yeah. See y'all in the next one. Bye.